the technology now, as it evolves, we're like the beta testers of this podcasting software, and it's kind of like this is the last stage of a rally, and the left corner was knocked off, and we've cable tied it together with fencing wire and cable ties, and hope, and we're going to try and get to the finish before the wheel falls off, and hopefully we get to the finish line. So, welcome.
Current stage of don't touch a thing because it might break.
So I guess we should do the introductions. Obviously myself, co-editor Andrew Coles, we have co-editor Luke Jackson, and from Adelaide Tarmac Pacenotes, Karl von Sanden.
Hi,
serial guest in Sydney.
Thank you for having us back on a Friday night.
No, it's no problems. How have you been?
Yeah, good. I'm sorry, Andrew. We're rolling straight into a Sydney summer, and it's glorious. Good times.
It's going to be tough. Like, obviously, not only is it winter in the UK, but we're going back to we're back in lockdown again now. So, for our Melbourne listeners, all of the mocking that we gave them for being in lockdown for the past 2 months, the karma has been swiftly dealt. Karl, we're just talking about Honda S2000 hardtops earlier, and I've got a business proposition for you. I think
buy them all and send them over. Let's do that.
No. This is one. You fund. I'll buy an S2000 over here with a hardtop coming into winter. We'll pop the hardtop off it, send it back to you, and then in the summer we sell the car and get our money back. Free hardtop.
I like it. That's good.
Doing deals anyway.
Because it's exactly what you need, Andrew, is another two-door convertible in your life.
Yeah, exactly. A Japanese one.
It's the one thing you can never have too many of. I agree. Yeah. No, good one.
Mate, so let's Pacenotes. Obviously Adelaide Rally coming up.
It's very
Adelaide
exciting.
Tarmac Pacenotes are flooding the event with your goods. How's it going?
Yeah, good. Obviously last year was the first year that we were selling. And broadly, most people that bought our notes were all mates, or that we'd had become mates through the racing. So that was really nice that everyone that jumped on board did sort of took the early plunge and jumped ship across to us. So that was really nice. As it turns out, they all did really well, which was great. So based on last year, as a pace note supplier, crews using our notes ended up taking more podium steps than the rest. So thankfully, second year in, I guess that's a bit of a track record. Everyone's come back. We're now starting.
Fantastic.
Now starting to get the interstate inquiry and the outright competition guys that obviously take it all very seriously. They're sort of knocking, which is nice. So it's it's
fantastic.
It's
I think it's that repeat business that's good, because obviously first time out, you're a bit like, oh, no one really knows, we'll find out. But when they come back again, that's when you're on the right path. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, it was going to be a pretty strong tree to shake, and it's nice to see that second year in that sort of already started. So yeah, no, it's good. So looking forward to it. It's what 3 weeks now. So 2 weeks till I'm back in Adelaide, and then 2.5 to the event. So I can't wait.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's such a unique event. We're just thinking about it, because obviously with us going back into lockdown in the UK, they've banned all non-elite motorsport, so everything is off the counter. Obviously, a lot of states in Australia are still, gatherings and groups. It must be one of the very few motorsport events actually happening anywhere in the world, which is go Adelaide, go South Australia. Well done.
Yeah. I think track days in New South Wales, they're now just starting to allow passengers again. Previously, it was just no spectators, no one else except the guys that needed to be there, and off you go in your cars. But now they've wound that back, and people are out there having a crack with their friends. So
well, Adelaide's doing a lot of firsts with COVID lockdown, which is pretty cool. Opening up film and media and getting Zac Efron here. Woo! Big news.
You've got that pigeon in Rundle Mall too. That pigeon sculpture.
I will admit, I heard about the pigeon, but not Zac Efron. That missed my feed. Can't imagine why.
All over my feed.
I love the on Shit Adelaide. They've got the pigeon, and it's like 4 hours in, and there's already some dude trying to climb it. I was like, excellent.
Yeah, I wonder what all the drunk people tomorrow night are going to be doing walking through the mall.
Yeah. Are the pigs still
Mountain
there?
pigeon.
Yeah, mounting a pigeon. Yeah.
Mount the pigeon, then go mount the pigs. Yeah. Welcome to Adelaide. Go do a rally. Any of the interstate visitors are probably scratching their heads as to what on earth we're talking about. But yeah, Rundle Mall, look out for the pigeon when you come for the rally.
You know what we should do? We should get a SCS sticker on the head. So it's like trophy type thing, like, you know.
Yeah.
There's a 2021 trophy idea.
Yeah.
We'll chat over.
Speaking of trophy ideas, we got a pretty cool one. No, not a pigeon.
It's not a pigeon.
That would be pretty cool. You still got to come up with a name. We still haven't done that yet. But the trophies are in the works at the moment for Mount Lofty, which is pretty cool. That'd be pretty exciting. My father is doing a good help out the sun job and doing some of the manufacturing for us, which is cool.
I was going to say a bit of a background. Sports Car Safari is sponsoring the Mount Lofty stage, and we're going to have trophies for the fastest times in the various categories up the hill.
4 categories, wasn't it?
4 categories.
4 categories. Outright. Yeah. Sorry. Modern comp, classic comp, modern challenge, classic challenge.
Yes. So
that's right.
Nothing for the something like that.
Because the tour package should all be finishing about the same time.
Absolutely.
In theory, fastest manufacturer tour group cut. No.
Which I suppose for those that don't know, the Mount Lofty stage is probably one of the longer, more historic stages, starting right down near the city, winding its way straight up to the what is it? The tallest? It's not the tallest in SA, but the tallest mountain around Adelaide.
In the Adelaide Hills, definitely tallest in the Adelaide Hills,
which is a little bump compared to most places.
Yeah, 770 meters, I think. But anyway,
we're very proud. We're very proud. It's a great hill.
To be fair though, that the actual overall elevation is not super high, but you do go from very not that far above sea level to there in a short order of time. So it is a significant climb. It's not like you're kind of starting from a high point and going up.
Short order of time if you're Busby.
So obviously we're doing the photography for the event. So we've been doing recce in a different way, looking for photo spots rather than. But obviously I'm rather excited. I'm a bit bummed that I'm going to miss the event. Obviously I'll be over here watching keenly online, but there's a lot of downhill this year where I've never seen an event really run. So we're going down Corkscrew, we're going down Wollonga Hill, we're going down Eagle on the Hill. How's that going to go? What have you put in your notes for that? What do you think?
Then you've got down Wickham's and there's another one down the Cuddly Creek Road, so down past Fox Creek, which is really quite steep. They've just recently put in guardrails, but it's quite sketchy.
In preparation.
That's it. And
I actually drove that road today.
Yeah, it's nice to see the regrowth after the fires out there. But, to answer your question, I guess it's a first for at least recent tarmac rallying in SA. So it's going to be a first for a few of the guys who are used to punching hard uphills, which safety was, I understand, a big part of the decision of why it was an uphill based event, because you can go harder with less consequence. So with notes, what we've done on the downhill sections is brought in more cautions and also started to actually use the word braking in areas where you need to be slowing down before it becomes immediately visible that you should be. So just actually throwing that word in. Obviously, everyone should be doing their recce and figuring that out. Yeah. But throwing that in just in case it gets forgotten or because it would be very easy. Like, there's a lot of very powerful cars that are getting quite heavy these days. So
plus there's also some not very powerful cars that will probably be going a lot quicker than what they're used to up to those corners. So 100%, like, good idea.
It's actually a really interesting, because obviously the comp guys are flat out, but in the challenge categories. So for those that don't know, these are limited to 130 k's an hour, and it's basically punch as hard as you can up to 130. Cars like yourself in your 944, when you're going up the hills, you're pretty much just foot flat to the floor and steering. But for the first time, there's a lot of people going to be actually having to manage that sort of downhill. And I guess there's probably a lot of time on the table for those that are really committed, which is that a good thing or a dangerous thing? I'm not sure, but it's definitely there for the taking, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess especially with classic cars that didn't come with good braking systems from factory, and that's had to be engineered back into it, especially with high grip tires and all of that. The guys that have put the work in to have their setup correct and I guess predictable. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be not free time. It's going to be risky time, but it'll be there.
I'm actually interested to see, especially with like the challenge categories, how many people actually get time penalties for overspeed, because that can creep up if you're coming down here and hill and accelerating a lot faster than usual. That'll be
going
cool.
Going down Eagle on the Hill, like 130 is not fast.
Not with those cambered corners coming down, like you are.
What a road.
What road?
What a road.
That's
shall be good. I'm interested to see if I can Friday night speak at all. How many people are going to be doing like lunch stop bleeds and things like that? Might be a few.
Yeah.
It'd definitely be a bit harder on the cars. So shall be good,
it's going to add a whole nother element to it of the competition. You're right, the penalty side of things, because you're right. Like, a good part of the event uphill, if you're in a slower car, like you're not getting to 130 anyway, or you're hovering around about the mark. But going downhill, you're constant, and actually you're going to be on the brakes more, because it's not like you're just braking for the corners and then you've got the straights to kind of cool the brakes. You're going to be on the brakes in the straights too. So that's going to add a whole nother element to it. That's that's I'm looking forward to that. That's
it's the DRS of Tarmac Rally. Spice things up.
Yeah, the 100-odd wheel horsepower of the 944 is now actually meaningful. So we're moving, boys.
Yeah. So, Karl, why don't you give us a quick rundown of your process in putting these notes together? Because obviously, it's not just a turn up and 3. Like, how long have you been working on this? How far long ago did it begin?
Well, this was, so I'm currently living in Sydney. This was before Adelaide opened their borders to Sydney. So went down, spent a couple of weeks working from home, my day job, and then took effectively a week off to go and do it once out of lockdown over there. So this would have been probably 6 weeks ago now. It was quite a while ago. And went through and effectively what you do is you drive, even though we had roughly half of the event already written from last year, given that was our first year, we felt that we could further improve it, add some more detail, maybe increase the accuracy or some of the consistency, and really just make it sort of move another step forward on it. So we really took the idea of let's redo the whole event, start to finish. And in terms of time, that probably took in car maybe in total that plus another weekend back in Adelaide after we'd put it all and computerize it all and came back to check it and sort of do a final correction. Probably maybe 50 or 60 hours in the car in total, which ends up it's wild. A lot of that sort of traveling to and from the stuff, or the different stages, and maybe we could have done that more efficiently. But given that we just wanted to do everything completely again, it was 50 or 60 hours, and it was probably 3,000 Ks in the car.
Wow.
So it does add up. I guess now we've got a set which we're really happy with, really confident with, and hopefully that makes it an easier job going forward. But in terms of process, what we do is we go through and really drive everything really slowly. We've got a system to figure out the corners on a consistent basis, and then so you start with the basis, left, right, how severe, the distances between the corners, and then you do another run, check them, another run to add in some extra detail, another run, then you start looking at, okay, where's the car going to be in a racing situation? What do we need to know? Are there bumps or potholes and other things on the other side of the road, or what's on the inside or outside of the corner? So it's probably 3 runs, you've got something that might be usable to people who really know what they're doing and have time to go in and add the detail, and maybe 5 or 6 runs for a complete set that should be good to go. So and then you add on distances from start and all the extra things around the outside of it. But so it takes a while. I like to think that driving around the Adelaide Hills is one of the best pastimes of anyone who's into cars. But when you do it at 45 k's an hour for 50 hours, it adds up. So
what did you do it in? What were you wrecking in?
This year, given we just got the Honda, we did it in that.
In the S2000.
Correct.
Lovely. Yeah.
Amazing wreck car. There's no room for anything.
That's exactly what you want.
But given it lives interstate from me, it was nice to spend some time in it. Maybe next year we hire a car.
3,000 Ks in a week, like that's a lot of wear and tear to put on a relatively low mileage collectible sports car.
But in saying that, it's because it's, I guess, new to us. It was nice to spend the time. Next year, we're doing something different. But so that's the process. Then that gives us a set to come back and spend some time on the computer and I guess create the actual product, which we then print and bind and send out. So that's kind of end to end.
Check to verify that the printers haven't made a mistake, and all of these sorts of things.
Which early on the first run last year, there was a couple of printing errors. So now I've moved from relying on other people to do that to doing it myself, just so we can have sort of end to end confidence. That's been a change that we've made this year, which is it's been good. Of course, there's heaps of time that goes into that after hours, but it's all part of the fun. So.
They're pretty good.
Thank you, and for anyone that needs them, they're all here ready to go. I was actually doing some work on it this afternoon. So 2.5 weeks away. Cannot wait.
Do you have them in stock, or are they something you have to print for people who want to get it?
Oh, I've lost the two of you.
Oh, we've still got you, Carl. So, but I guess
different. See, this is what happens when you touch it.
Don't touch it.
Are you there?
Don't touch it.
We've lost everyone.
I can hear you. Yeah, I've got everyone fine. Well, I'll just talk, assuming that I can be heard. Yeah,
I'll jump back out and in.
Just going to say that, if anyone that can still hear me, like the Pacenote side of things, is definitely an investment in, like, if you actually look at the time and the cost of doing it yourself. It definitely is better to buy them. It becomes a lot cheaper if you look at the fuel and the time and whatnot it takes to actually put your own notes together. It's quite good value. So, Luke, have you got me? That's a no. That's a no then. Well, this is a great show if anyone can still hear me. Obviously, Luke and Carl are sorting themselves out. We've gone to a mobile app for the first time. BeLive have just launched a mobile app to allow guests to sign in through their phones. And it's not completely foolproof, it seems. So, have we got Carl back? Hello, mate. We're just explaining to people if we're still live that the new mobile app is not completely debugged yet, it seems. So
it was there for a moment until Luke tried to do something specky.
I think this is the thing about coronavirus, is that the world have become beta testers for everything,
including going outside. A little while, and then we take it away. He'll be back in a sec, he says.
He'll be back in a sec. If anyone is watching, can let us know in the comments if you've still got us okay, because we can crack on. We don't really need Luke. I mean, he'll jump in when he can.
He's had a few late nights putting your magazine together as well as you. So he deserves the sleep.
I think he does. Yeah, but no, we're basically become beta testers for pretty much everything. US elections, coronavirus responses, podcasting software.
Humanity is the beta test. Here we go.
Democracy.
I'm alive.
Are we back?
Do you know what happened? I touched something, didn't I?
Don't.
Hands off.
We said that. I went. Don't touch anything.
Yeah, I went. You know what? I'm going to share the screen and show a picture of the knife.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't touch it. I think, Luke, your microphone's switched back as well.
No. Is it all tinny?
Anyway, massively. So, what's that? The family app? Play me off. Anyway, we won't do that. So yeah, so Carl, I don't know if you heard, I was just sort of saying that when Guy Stan and myself, when we attacked Target Tasmania a couple of times, we definitely found that buying Pacenotes is a much more cost and time effective way of going about it, because obviously there is an advantage to writing your own if you're looking for that final sort of 1%, and you want to have your own, but you're talking weeks of time, you're talking thousands of dollars in petrol, you're talking, especially if you're interstate, you've got accommodation costs, you've got travel costs, like it's, and to be able to, for a couple $100 or whatever it is, come and buy some notes done is financially a very, very good way of going about it. So
I guess it gives you the opportunity to take something that should be relatively standardized and drive the roads once or twice and make corrections to make it work for you if there's something that you need to change, and then you go, okay, I completely agree with this, and you go racing instead of the 5, 6, 7 times you need to drive it. Then was it right at speed? Is it going to be right? All that stuff. So no.
I think it increases the enjoyment. I mean, I guess it depends what, I've certainly always competed for enjoyment more than trophy hunting, but to be able to have that task removed and actually turn up and enjoy and have some notes ready to go, I think it increases the enjoyment tenfold. So, so, well, I'm glad we're back. We faltered, but we're not going to touch anything at all. As we're just saying, Luke, we are the beta testers for Be Live, the podcasting software. So without knowing it, anyway.
I'll send them some info after this and be like, hey guys, like, great idea. Great idea, but
Anyway, we get there.
Yeah, as long as I don't get into another bandwidth argument, we're all good.
This has been an evolutionary process.
So I had a pretty exciting day today.
Okay. Tell all.
I was out doing a magazine drop, which was cool. Which involved.
How is it? I haven't yet seen it, and I cannot wait.
I haven't yet seen it.
That is my Sunday afternoon / night job, is to prepare all the shipping. So it's been a pretty hectic week, and I needed half a brain break to come back down to planet Earth after such a tight timeline from the printing and preparation. which is pretty crazy. So now I was out magazine dropping today to a couple of cafes and also out to a couple of our advertisers, which was pretty cool. So I had my little 3-year-old Noah with me, which he was very proud of, going around and showing his new Skyline Hot Wheels he got from Dad. So we made it out to go see John and the team at Driven Motorsport, which is pretty cool. Go and see what they're doing in their workshop. What
are they doing at Driven? Because I've not actually been out to Driven, but you see the stickers on all of the cars, lots of Evos and Subarus and pretty quick stuff. What are they doing?
So I mean,
what's cooking?
What's cooking? So having a chat with John and the team down there. They're installing new hoists and going gangbusters. We're having an interesting discussion, actually. We like how the business for him has changed. He's been going, I think he said 8 years now, in some capacity. And as the appreciation of these Japanese vehicles have been moving up, the work in which he's doing has changed. So it's been less like, break fix stuff and, less, volume servicing stuff, to more project and builds and things like that. Like when I came in and interrupted John in the middle of his work, he was under a Skyline installing some MCA coilovers, and there was Subarus getting work done, Evos. It's pretty cool actually. And I guess it's similar, a similar pattern to what we've seen with like Porsche and Alpha workshops and bits and pieces. They've gone from being, quite, low budgety type of doing just, can you just quickly fix this type of thing to actually doing some proper builds and proper work, which is like, big work. Which is I guess it makes sense,
because as the values increase and you do have people with bigger budgets that want to preserve the cars and want to develop them in the right ways, and it kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
John's been able to build that experience up, and he's really ideally suited to do that.
Yeah, well, and learn a bit more about him. He was a rally up guy at a Mitsubishi dealership, which would have been pretty cool. During the 8, 9, 10 era. So
great.
So he would have driven a Rally Art Magna and would have access to Rally Art Magna.
Are they just an Australian thing?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, they are.
Gosh.
They're just an Australian thing.
Hey, I did awesome. I'd like, but it's the Evo 6 style body kit adapted to fit a Magna. Like, that's just awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, sorry for the sidetrack. If anyone has a Rally Art Magna, please do reach out. I'd love to.
That'd be a great story. Actually, just like Minter Rally Art Magna. Why?
They were
the Y car of like the early thousands.
No, they were quick.
Yeah, I know.
They were quick.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and I think statute of limitations has passed now. Sorry, Tommy Gilbert. We had the Europe car hire cars, and we'd have the V6 Magna. But you're on the Europe car fleet, the 3.5 liter V6 Magnas with the Tiptronic gearbox. They went and they sounded good, and they were pretty quick. And
my funny story about Magnas. So my
good thing.
My grandparents had matching Ford Fairlanes back in the day. They bought brand new together, and then one of them, baller as like the LTD ones that were the gear. You remember the gear ones, and it had like the digital dash and like the buttons on the steering wheel, and it had like map lights on the rear seats. It was all velour interior, and it had the little gear bonnet badge on the. Oh, I wish I had one of those now still. Anyway, Lord. And after one of my grandmother ended up getting a Magna, and she got a V6 Magna and everything. And she came to Dad and was like, Viano, can you come with me and have a listen to the car? Something's not right with it. It keeps making these weird noises. Anyway, driving along and pull up at the lights, and Grandma puts her foot down and off she goes, and it was her like lighting it up off the line like all the time. She's used to this big like
they had a lot of torque. And they were back in the days front wheel drive, and back in the days when TC off genuinely meant TC off, you could just turn it off, and
I don't think they even had them on the early ones. Anyway, so that was really cool to go out and see John and learn more about his business and the stuff that he did. As we were on their TV in there, we got on to talking about Burger Meat and car events and stuff, and on the screen came up a shot of Burger Meat at Penny Hill.
Oh no way!
All the feels, and then remembering all the pain,
all the pain. It was rose tinted goggles.
So that was pretty cool. So I got out to that was cool and good to see. But same thing. Like if you had a Evo that you bought cheap and the motor did itself, well, now you're not going to just kind of half fix it. You're going to do a proper build on it, and then because that car's worth so much more money. So that was cool to see. Really good setup, and like getting apparently he's getting a 4-wheel drive dyno this year too, which is
cool. I'd be really interested we need to get John on the podcast.
I spoke to him actually. Well, we might. I tested his net while we're out there. We might actually go out to the workshop. That might be cool.
Yeah, because I want to know how many people are now backdating modified cars to standard. Worth money. Because you used to see, because back in the day, people would convert Australian delivered Tommy Mackinnon 6.5s into sort of time attack cars, and I wonder if anyone's going back.
There's some interesting discussions with John around time attack and a few of that series and the cars that he's prepped and that whole thing that's happening anyway. So
because go on. We'll save it. I was just going to say it's the same thing that's happened in the Porsche world. Like a lot of people took all these sort of early mid 70s Targas and E's that no one really wanted, and they put wide body kits on them, and they put flat nose kits, and then they made them into 993 RSs, and now suddenly everyone's gone, hang on a minute, a 73 Targa is a pretty cool car, and they've sort of backdated them back. And I think the same thing will happen to Evos and Subarus. People will be taking these cars and going, actually, they were pretty good standard, and going back,
I think so. Yeah.
Anyway,
and they're based out at pretty much out of Edinburgh. So good old friend Matt Kelly works at Brabham, so had to do the, hey Matt, what are you doing? Do you want a mag?
So but we have to give it to you inside the facility.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Got to have a good Matt was, as he always is, just so hospitable and lovely, and was just like, yeah, come in, have a look around, and saw the team and everyone there, and saw Julian and Carlo doing the carbon and Kevlar work, which is pretty cool. All of their
amazing.
Shop.
Can you talk about what they had happening at the factory? So this is Brabham, for don't know, Brabham, Brabham Automotive.
There's nothing that I can't really talk about. They had they were in the middle of rebuilding finishing off building the Bathurst, the blue Bathurst record car, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And then they had 4 chassis there, which are customer cars. Right drive road one and a few other bits and pieces. A few going overseas, a few staying here. And they were all in bare chassis straight from Pace Engineering, which is pretty cool. So chrome molding, beautiful TIG welding everywhere, like phenomenal work. The record car had been rebuilt mostly, just waiting on some body panels and bits and pieces. So they were doing laser wheel lining and just some quality control checks. And it's just one of those things, I guess, we went and saw Matt working at BRM a few times and just blown away by the work that they were doing there. But same thing with Brabham, and I guess Matt's attention to detail is all the bolts have paint markers on them and everything's talked to spec and just phenomenal work, just unbelievable.
Proper race car stuff. I mean, it's not really economical to do it all the time, but I mean, if you're at that level of running those cars and those teams, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's always economical to check your nuts, Andrew. On that note, men's health. Have you checked your nuts lately?
Live on camera.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
So that was cool. And then, got to go and see Julian and Carlo, who Carlo and Julian were running, or Carlo ran CLC Composites, which...
Formula One experience back in the day.
Yeah, Formula One experience back in the day. Yeah. And they did a whole heap of V8 supercar work and stuff like that. And they got purchased by Brabham, and now they're working for them. So going and seeing the work that the fiber work that they're doing is crazy. The floor is unbelievable. Yeah, so the floor is like a wedge honeycomb piece that's roughly, I don't know, it's like 20 mil thick or something like that, and then they actually send it off to go and be CNC machined to put O-rings in there and everything. So machine a groove out of it, put an O-ring in it, and
so the floor. I don't know if you know how they're built, because I remember Jordan Roddy telling us. Obviously, issue 3 we had his Murcielago RGT, and he was one of the things that blew my mind about the level of these cars and the commitment to ownership and the commitment to doing them is he was describing when they were taking that car to Monterey Car Week and they were trying to get it on and off transporters and trailers, and they really had to select the right, basically every move of this journey had to be the angles, the departure angles had to be checked to make sure it could get on and off the trucks. And that because he said that if they damaged the carbon floor, the floor is the first component of the car that goes onto the chassis, and everything is built around the floor. So basically the floor is it, and if you need to replace the floor, you need to strip the entire car down.
No, this one's the Brabham is different. So the record car that Matt's been rebuilding and the team's been rebuilding there is didn't have the floor in, so it was really cool to see the cage and everything through, and the chassis and all that kind of stuff. And then so they've built the majority of the car, and then floor goes on.
That's cool.
So ease of access to components and bits and pieces for them is there. And there was new seat going in and a bunch of different things. But it was really cool insight to go and see in our backyard, a pretty amazingly quick supercar that's getting a road version now too being built. So
It still blows my mind when you know I see in the UK you see the BT62s at various events, and I've seen them at. Unfortunately, I haven't actually seen one at speed. I've only seen them static, but you see them at the various Conqueror events, and you sort of it's pretty cool to think that this car was built in my backyard by my mates, and it's here on a world stage. You know, that's well done to everyone involved in that.
Yeah.
That's a very cool thing. So,
yeah, it is pretty cool. So that was good. And then we did the long journey up to go see Tom at Adelaide Hills Toyota, which was great.
Matt Barker.
Yep. So did the back road from all the back way through Kersbrook and Tippett. And did some stages, and all that, which was great. And yeah, spent some time up there with him, which is always great. Tom's such a lovely guy. They seemed to they were pretty busy. But Tom sat down for a little while and had a chat, which was good. And getting a Yaris soon, which is cool. Not
GR Yaris.
GR Yaris. They are within they're like a fortnight or so away. So
really? Are they that close?
Yeah, they're close. What's going to happen is going to fall right on Adelaide Rally.
It will.
Which interestingly, Tom's doing course car too, which is cool. So we'll see.
In a GR Yaris?
No. I asked that first thing. I said Jared.
Well, I think we definitely need to pitch Tom, because I mean, Luke, the photography, you need a car to get around to the stages. And, well, we're going to have cameras.
Nah, the cars he's getting, I think there's only a couple in demo and customer car and stuff like that.
I remember Tom very, very generously let me test the 86 when that was new in 2013 first, and that was one of the first in the state. And to even get sort of half an hour with that car was big news, because there was a very long line of people that wanted some time in that car. So
I imagine it'll be the same. Actually, I was driving next to a new Yaris a couple of days ago after we did the magazine and everything, and I kind of got back on my radar again. And they're a really little car, like they're really little. So I'm kind of excited by that, because you boys would probably agree with me. Like nowadays, cars are just getting so big and so cumbersome that I guess getting back into a small little performance car would be cool.
They're stout. I saw them at Goodwood at Speed Week. They're stout. They've got big punched out wheels onto each corners, and they just look like an angry little ball of fury, just sort of sitting there, ready to attack. Like it's very cool thing. Very cool.
Should be cool. So that was my day driving around and
cafes
getting out about. So
where can people get the mag from?
So at the moment they're at Gang and Bricks and Stones. So. I guess for those that go to Cars and Coffee only, it's easy for them to get them there. I am getting them out about. Driven's got a whole stack up there too. So if you're up north, pop in and see John there. He's got a box of magazines and unlimited refills on the drink. So
really.
Well,
Amazing.
I mean, until we run out of magazines, but
I thought you meant he had actual drinks there.
No. So that's that there, and then Tom's got some up at the hill, and obviously you can get them online. Which if you get in and order them, I guess before Saturday, or before Sunday afternoon, I'll be there with that. The other thing as well that's coming up, which will be cool, is I'm going to go to Cars and Coast on Sunday morning.
Oh, Beck's down at Beck's Bakehouse.
Yeah, down at Beck's Bakehouse at Noarlunga, which is cool. Yep. So I messaged Dan and just said, hey, is it cool if I pop down? And because I was going to try and get down there today, but just didn't have time between everything going on to drop off some mags. So I'm going to go down there Sunday and set up shop. So we'll have stickers and merch and magazines there. And he said, get there before 7 because it's going to be a big one. So
that's very early.
Well, not so bad. I looked because I'm on the south side of town. So I looked at it and it's only like 25 minutes away. So it's not that bad.
That's still a 6 a.m. out of bed. That's an early start.
Nah, that's fine. The boys will be up. So there'll be a big supply down at Beck's Bakehouse, Port Noarlunga as well, and I'll be down there on Sunday morning if you're around and want to pick up a copy. I'll try and get in a half decent position where I'll be in everybody's way and you'll have to walk past me. So
signing autographs and stuff.
Signing autographs, yeah.
Yep.
I could do that actually. I reckon people would buy that.
Not a chance.
No. Not at that level yet.
Nah.
Maybe we'll get Zac
only
Efron
one way
on.
to find out.
Or you'll be in the early stage of actually using your real signature, and then people will then just have your signature to put on a bunch of forms and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I think you just burst my bubble of assuming that was always everyone's real signature. I'm the idiot in the room here.
It's like The Simpsons, where the Bart slips Krusty the Clown the 1 cent check to get his signature on his autograph.
That's pretty funny.
Anyway,
that's perfect. So yeah, all things moving along on that front, which is good. If you do have a business and you are listening and you do want some copies of the mag there, happy to come and drop some past here. So yeah, this weekend we'll be shipping them to our interstate neighbours as well.
and international.
I don't know if budget allows for that. You might need to just come down here and grab one.
Yeah, just come down here is not quite as easy in the
Anyone
age of
flying
COVID.
to London?
No one's flying to London. No one's flying from London. We're the pariah state. Okay, we're not being laughed at quite as much as our friends across the Atlantic, but we're a close second. So yeah,
you got most of your summer. That's okay.
We did have a good summer, actually. We did. Yeah. We can't complain. So yeah, no.
What about you? What have you been up to? You've been up to some big stuff up there.
Yeah.
Bit of driving around last days of summer, Andrew.
Yeah, we've it's been a bit of a up in the air month. We've obviously spent some time on the Isle of Wight for work, which has been great. And it has not been great. Not great for podcasts because the internet's not and phone reception is not great down there, which when you're trying to find somewhere to do a podcast. And we thought we had an internet cafe lined up, and then they changed the Wi-Fi password on me after I tried to upload 2 gigs of Goodwood photos in there. Yeah, so the Goodwood photos in issue 4, I shot at Speed Week, and then went to this cafe and sat there and had 3 flat whites in quick succession while I tried to get this WeTransfer through to Luke. And then I was there for about 3 hours, and I had to keep resetting it. And anyway, and then I went back the next day, and the Wi-Fi password had been changed. So I was like, okay, well, I'd been there about every day for the sort of 6 days previous. So yeah, so we're down there, which is good. And took the Boxster down, which was cool. And just sort of saying that, like, we never really intended to actually use it as a car this early because it needs a lot of preventative work done, but it's just kind of happened, and we added another sort of 500 miles to it in the last sort of 3 or 4 days, and it's going great. It's awesome. We I meant to do a live, but I didn't have the right moment. But we had it crammed full of our gear, and we had literally every orifice of the car just full of like a month's worth of living gear. We had the hardtop, like we had jackets and bags behind us. And it's actually, to be fair, it's actually quite a practical car, but we stopped at the shops on the way home just to get some supplies. And yeah, that was the final bit. The bag of shopping had to sit in the passenger floor well, because the car was full. There was no more. It was not giving any more.
Which for everyone that doesn't know, Andrew and Chantel have their month worth of living gear very, very compact. Maybe suggesting the actual room that a box has.
I feel like a month of Andrew and Chantel living gear is like half a day for most normal people.
Yeah, there wasn't much, but no, it's awesome. We got it was yesterday was a really weird taste. We had to cut our trip short, so we kind of came home for lockdown. It's like lockdown light, there's nothing enforced, but there's no pubs or restaurants open, and there's nothing to do, so it's kind of, you might as well just come home. So we thought, well, you know what, we might as well take a nice route home. So we did a bit of a loop around the Isle of Wight. We then caught a ferry from Yarmouth, which was Yarmouth Harbour. Really interesting. It really felt like America. Like, it felt like the US. It had very much Hamptons kind of upstate New York vibes to it. It was very cool. And got the ferry across to Lymington, and then sort of drove up through the New Forest, did some hiking, and then kind of drove home from there. And we really had these vibes of, it was like such a tease, because we felt like we're on like a proper European road trip, like we want to do, the car's full of our stuff. We found some driving roads that we kind of didn't expect and had a bit of a punt, and then we stopped and get this, and we're kind of just getting into the swing of it. We're like, yeah, this is great, and then the penny drops, and we're like, oh, we're driving home to be locked up for the next month, so we're going nowhere. But no, it's I'm looking forward to it. It's made us even more excited to actually, over the winter, I think, get some of the maintenance jobs done on the Boxster, really get it ready for next year and get it ready to go and put some serious miles on it next year. I'm doing some research. I'm very, it could be some fun updates. I'm no mechanic, but I'm super tempted to pop the gearbox off to pop a new clutch in it and do the IMS conversion, because I've read all the instructions and it really doesn't look that hard. Like it doesn't seem that hard. So
yeah, okay. On your gravel driveway, yeah.
No. I'll borrow some workshop space.
Okay.
I'll borrow some concrete space. It'll still be on the ground, like still be jack stands on the ground. But,
Luke started this whole thing. Read a workshop manual and you can do anything.
Yeah.
With the words, something to that effect that you told me, and
that
here you go.
Yeah. And then here's Karl, the Mr. Night before the rally starts. I think I'm just gonna pop the valve cover off and check the valve clearances or something like that. What did you do last time?
It works every time.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah, it's one of those things. Like, workshop manuals are pretty good. You follow them, you don't be silly, you'll be fine.
It's nuts and bolts.
YouTube is brilliant.
Yes.
Watch 2 or 3 DIYs, write your own instructions, and off you go.
As long as it's not like 5-minute craft DIY where it's like totally not the right thing. It's like you can microwave glue and it will be fine. And then it turns into this. And you're like, no.
No. I'm acutely aware that there's definitely like the exhaust, as do a lot of cars in the UK, like the exhaust system is quite rusty. Like the bolts are all very rusty because obviously it's the back of the car where all the sort of the spray goes, and you need to remove the exhaust system to create the space to get the gearbox off. Looking at it going, I bet you that exhaust is not coming off for fun. So it's going to be a new but you know what? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
You don't have to do a new exhaust. That'd just be like cut off bolts and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that'd be the worst of it. But I think, to be fair, it's a not a transaxle. Yeah, no, like a transaxle. So it's kind of
transaxle.
Transaxle, yeah, it's fine.
Andrew opens the front. Where's the gearbox?
Where's the gearbox? Le grill. But like compared to like an east-west front-wheel drive car, where you've got to drop the whole drivetrain and subframes off. There's no subframes to come off. There's the engine stays in place. There's it's basically exhaust off, drive shafts off, gearbox mounts off, sort of gearbox bolts off, slide it off. I mean, famous last words. Anyway, thinking of doing it for all your entertainment, just to see what happens. And
I just need another Andrew undercar shot to put in the magazine.
I'm so salty about that. Shouldn't have given you that photo. Thought it would be like maybe a little one, but
half page.
I'd ask you to pull that photo up, but you might break this.
No, don't.
So let's
break the internet or just break the stream.
Yeah. But no, the car's good. So we'll definitely go through it. I think at the bare minimum, we'll definitely do obviously all the fluids. I mean, I haven't even changed the coolant in it. I haven't changed the gearbox oil. So we'll do the gearbox oil, do the coolants. We'll pop a new water pump in it just to be safe. Belts. I mean, it has just an auxiliary belt. Tensioners, it's got a bit of a noisy tensioner. I think there's something that's, it has a bit of a vibration at 3000, which is quite a common thing that a lot of them have. So I'm going to try and track that
quite a common thing with cars that have been sitting around for years, not being driven.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, we'll go through it. I think I might even, pop a set of wheel bearings through it just to be on the safe side. It definitely needs top mounts at the front. So now I'm like, well, what else do you do when you're in there?
We might as well put coilovers in, Chantal.
No coils. I think
found these Olins just lying around somewhere.
And now we can't afford to eat. So
next minute's full gravel conversion.
So yeah, I don't know, but I think definitely sort of over Christmas it'll definitely be an up on jack stands for a couple of weeks and go through it and get it sorted for next year. And we have dreams of the dreams at the moment are maybe a sort of a Scottish Highlands Outer Hebrides winter trip, which will be proper, Scottish Highlands in winter, like snow and sleet and that. So I think that's doable. And then hopefully a summer sort of Spain and Portugal, sort of 2-week loop around Spain and Portugal is what we're kind of thinking about. But as I said, whether we get there or not, we've given up all hopes of planning lately because it obviously changes. So yeah. Anyway,
cool.
That's what's in the works.
Awesome.
Well, boys, I think it's been a good show. Karl, thank you for joining. Thank you to all the the listeners and the viewers for sticking with us during the slight
Andrew's
problems.
monologue.
My monologue.
You
know, it's one thing to do a monologue, which is cool, but it's the other thing to do a monologue and not know if it's actually being broadcast or not.
No. As soon as it stopped, I went and jumped on like YouTube and Facebook and made sure it was still going. And you're sitting there going,
I'm listening to you, Andrew. Don't worry.
So, Karl.
Yes.
Notes if people still need them. Where to go, what to do, time frames. What do they need to do?
Yeah, ready to jump in express post. So really as early as everyone else is able to. Facebook and Instagram on those pages as well is my number. Feel free to give me a call.
Awesome.
Do they come with a bag of pineapple lollies for every sale? Daniel's got one.
No, but I think we will have a stash at all times at the rally. So if that's an excuse for people to talk to us, then. But no, two and a half weeks or so. Looking forward to it. We get to see you, Luke, and
that'll be brilliant.
We'll be chatting throughout. So
should we do as well, Karl? I know that unless you've got a silly flight time again, are we doing an SCS beach party post rally beach beers?
Absolutely. I do have a flight out, but I think it's 7:00, so at least that's enough.
No, maybe.
This is going to turn into another episode of Karl driving to the airport at like 90 k's an hour. Still good. Anyway, dumps the S2000 at the door, leaves it idling, runs in. No, it'll be fun.
It'll be someone. It'll be someone at the beach party, like quick take Karl to the airport.
Yeah.
Actually,
great group.
Luke, we need to plug ourselves too. Your photography needs for the rally. Sportscastafari.com/shop. We're doing the photo packs again, photo video
and
packs
video.
Video.
We were brilliant last year. So if you don't have them,
thank you.
Jump on and grab them.
Thank you. So we're looking forward to supplying those.
We do course actually, funnily enough, Karl.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd heard. Yeah. We'll chat.
So we'll have the photos, and I'll actually be full time on the editing because I have nothing else to do. So I'll be full time on the editing and distribution. So we're not going to say this publicly, and I won't say this publicly, but if you are a friend of SCS, which means you're watching the podcast, do reach out, and we're happy to probably get you some photos during the event because I'll definitely be able to do that. So if you do want some to pop on your social medias and whatnot during the event, we can help you out with that too. So just drop us a message, and happy to do that. And
because the plan with those is that we'll finish the day shooting, upload everything, and Andrew in the UK will be able to sort through them and pick and do all that kind of thing.
I'll do the editing. You're asleep, and then when you all get up in the morning, you have your photos. Is the plan? We'll see how that goes.
Is this after you've bought 15 lattes from the internet cafe, so you can actually?
Yes. No. I'm home now. We have good internet at home. Yeah, no. But I will have had 15 coffees because I'll be basically crying watching all my friends having fun in the sun, and we'll be in winter not being able to leave our house. So I'll Anyway, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. So
cool.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.